have done the entire metro scene, leaving aside, of course, Chennai. So here's my question to you. If you were not doing films, making films, what would you be doing?
Well, I'd be working in the development sector, I think. It's still something that interests me deeply. I think I've always, I did economics thinking that I would do developmental economics later as my post-grad specialization. But, film and more than film, just the arts were my first love, and I decided to pursue that. But if I had a chance, and then I realized, of course, developmental work or work in the social sector doesn't need a degree and certainly just needs intent. So I said I should do what I love because I can always do that later. So I would, if I didn't do film, I would most definitely be working in the social sector.
Fantastic. So over to the theme of the conference. The theme is India, the time is now. Nothing to do with Arnab Goswami. And so on that theme,
So I'm really happy to be on a panel with the two of you. But for me, I kind of agree with Ajit. I was thinking about it after we had our conversation, and I think it's a much discussed subject that we sort of cohabit so many Indias at one time. And this diversity, while it's so complex, at the end of the day is also our great strength and is also something that I personally take great pride in. So I think for me, being Indian is the idea of inclusion, the idea that all these discussions, all these arguments, and all these points of view need to be discussed, need to be put on the table, and need to be considered before we taking, pretty much piggybacking on Indian myth and legend and, sort of converting it into this exciting, new, modern sort of fantasy, is again a step in that direction where the stories that we've maybe just before my generation have heard since they've been growing up, they look at again in a different light. It's all exciting again, and it's become relevant. It's become contemporary. So I think it's a time that people have the space to do more things of that kind, and I think entrepreneurship and the way Indian business models have changed. Writers, t-shirt designers, people who sell, different things online have created new and more contemporary cultures for us to go back to and reference.
give a glimmer of hope to the Britishers. Ajit talked about the fading financial economy. The one sector which is growing higher than the GDP in Britain is the creative economy. And they're trying to rope in creative people from all over the world because they see that that could be a big advantage for Britain in the years to come. And they're saying that, look, if you put together Spice Girls, a band like Spice Girls, you don't need SEZ land. At the height of their performance, they were a billion-dollar entity. So that's non-trivial. But over to Kiran first. Talk to us about becoming an entrepreneur and what does it mean in the creative economy, in the kind of work that you do. And of course, Ajit, who was an entrepreneur long before I became an entrepreneur. So Ajit, love to hear your views on that, particularly for young people.
It is the ability to create an idea that people can consume, can desire, and hopefully need as well. It's not just hot air, but I think the problems again facing, if you just go back to what I said about Indian education, if you've survived it and you've come out with ideas that you would like to share with the world, then I think the only real problem in this country is the lack of structure. I find it especially in my own industry, which was of course declared an industry far too late.
That so-called Bharat, the creature from Bharat, is what took India to success. That's the difference.
Okay, on the Lagan note, thank you for that lovely question. And first and foremost, I think we need to thank Kumar and his stellar team to have even thought about something like the non-fiction Lit Fest. May India read more non-fiction. And on behalf of all of us here on this stage, thank you to Sandeep and every member in the audience. And from my side, Kiran, thank you so much. Ajit, thank you.